Hey, everybody, welcome to this episode of the Real Producers Partners podcast. Today, I'm excited to be joined by Charlie Beis of Beis Plumbing. Welcome, Charlie.
How's it going?
Good, good. So, what a day today, man. It's just absolutely crazy.
Yeah, out of all the days to pick to have something like this set up, it was probably one of the worst ones. The phone's been going crazy all morning.
I bet. But it's good for you. It's not good for your customers, obviously.
Yeah.
So, tell me, when did you start your business and how big is your team now?
So we currently have 20 people,
Wow.
including myself. So 19 of them are actually on payroll, and then me as the owner and master plumber. And we are rolling up hard on our 8th year of being in business, and this will be my 22nd year in the plumbing industry.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
What areas do you serve in the St. Louis metro?
So we serve all of St. Louis County.
Okay.
We do Jefferson County, most of it. We do have a spot where we kind of cut off going south. It just gets a little bit too far out of our coverage. We do almost all of St. Charles as well.
Okay.
And then we do St. Louis City as well, parts of it, just depending on what type of work comes in.
Yeah. So what all do you do in terms of plumbing services? Because I know some plumbers choose to not really want to do the emergency plumbing work.
Yeah.
So if you could just kind of explain to our watchers and listeners what is it that you guys do?
Yeah, we are probably 80% heavy on our residential service. We do the emergency side of it.
Okay.
We do offer same day service for emergencies, especially so the Wildwood, Eureka, Pacific area, which is where we live. We pretty much make them priority if they have anything that comes in because it's the community we live in. We do take emergency calls for everywhere else as well.
Okay.
I do have a small team. We do have a couple new construction home builders and high-end remodelers that we keep 2 to 4 guys active on that. But our primary team they field around 180 plus calls a day, mostly either emergency or something that's going to become emergent pretty soon.
Yeah.
Water heaters, sump pumps today. I mean, I know for a fact we have 4 or 5 guys doing nothing but sump pumps today.
Wow, that's crazy. So now, if I remember right, I think you guys specialize in water heaters. At least
Yeah, we are. According to our suppliers, I think we purchased the 2nd or 3rd largest amount of water heaters out of all the plumbing companies in the St. Louis area.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah, we've got some guys. We take a lot of classes on them. Our techs are very well trained in repairs and sizing and all the stuff that goes along with them. The guys are just really good at getting in and out and getting the people back up and going about their day.
Okay. So why water heaters?
Well, I enjoy the replacement of water heater. Just the actual physical part of replacing a water heater is part of the plumbing scope that I enjoy to do. And really, we didn't start hammering them real hard until we moved to Eureka, which happens to have pretty bad water. Okay. So the water heaters don't typically last as long as they're supposed to out here. So we do push water treatments and stuff as well, pretty heavily out here. But the whole water system, the water heater is it's a pretty integral part of the water system. And all things water, we really enjoy treatment, pressure, everything, all the valves. But the water heater seems to be the one that my guys just kind of gravitated towards. And we started learning more, all the components, the do's and don'ts. And we keep the guys trained up pretty good on them.
All right, cool. So talk about water and water quality. I mean, how do you guys test for it? And if so, what kind of treatments do you guys have in place?
So we do all of I believe we have 8 techs that have been trained pretty well in the testing side of it. They all carry full kits supplied by Wholesale Plumbing out here in Eureka. So they know how to read them and they know how to show them to the homeowners and break it down to what's actually in their water. And we offer our treatments. We have everything from whole house carbon filters, water softening systems, sediment if you have a lot of debris in your water, RO systems, point of uses. We have a lot of people that like to hook the RO up to their fridge so they can get the purely, it's the cleanest water that you can possibly get.
So what's RO?
Reverse osmosis.
Okay.
So it runs through stages. You got a 3-stage and a 5-stage series of filters. And basically, it just pushes the water through. It pushes the water, it literally squeezes it through. And you can buy RO water out of the bottle. I'm not sure if Smart Water is an RO water, but there's a couple bottled waters that are it'll tell you on there that this is an RO water product.
Okay.
And that is about as clean as you can possibly get with water.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. So what kinds of water problems do we have in the St. Louis metro area?
All kinds. It's not just here. It is everywhere.
Sure.
You can actually go. I wish I had the website for you. You can look it up. I'm sure anybody can look it up on Google and find it. You can punch in your zip code and it'll tell you what your water is, what the common issues with your water. It is stuff that I don't even like to bring it up a whole lot. So I feel like I'm trying to scare people, but
Yeah.
it is, you get everything from narcotics, which you have a lot of that in your water systems now that do not get treated out. When they treat your water, they have to treat your water with chemicals. So essentially they're pumping it full of the chlorine, the fluorides, all the stuff to try to get the contaminants out of it. We're using water at such a fast pace now that we are pulling it from the ground instead of letting it, go through the ground naturally, which it filters everything out. Now we're actually pulling it from the ground. So that's fine, but it just needs to be treated at the point of use in your home. The stuff like you have actual feces in your water. You can, like I said, punch it up, look it up. Don't just take my word on it.
Yeah.
You literally can type your zip code in and it'll tell you narcotics, feces, the chloramines. We can get rid of about 98 to 99% of all that with just some in-house treatment.
Wow. I remember, I mean, this is a long time ago, but when I was a graduate student, I was studying for public administration. And this was back in Missouri State in Springfield. And I remember them saying that St. Louis had some of the best water in the United States.
Yep.
So even with some of the best water, we still have a lot of, in our water, it sounds
Absolutely.
like.
Yeah. St. Louis City's water. Now, everybody's water is different. Like I said, it's why you really need to use your zip code.
Yeah.
You can punch it in. That won't tell you exactly what's in your water, but it will give you an idea of what your community has. St. Louis City's water it's very clean. When we test it, it doesn't, I mean, the pH, everything's pretty good in it. You have a few contaminants in it that we can get out with a simple filtration system.
Yeah.
You start getting out into the county a little bit more. You have areas that have like high lime and high calcium. So every area needs something a little bit different. So instead of guessing like we kind of used to, we'd show up, we'd look at their stuff and we'd see stuff on the ends of their faucets. We'd kind of take a shot in the dark on what they needed. The last 4 or 5 years, we have some in-house training and the guys carry the kits. We can tell pretty dang close to just about everything that's in there.
Wow. So is lead a problem in water?
Lead's, I haven't found any lead, even in a house that has a lead water service. It's been so calcified over the years. That's not
Really,
you don't run into that. All of our products have been lead free now for probably the last 10 to 12 years.
Yeah.
Valves and everything else. So I have not had any high traces of lead content in any water that I have personally seen myself.
Okay. All right. So, so tell me, how do you guys work with realtors?
So in the plumbing world, like I said, I've been in it for 22 years. I've had a couple different bosses. I've been at the same company almost my whole life. It was bought and turned over a couple different times. Nobody ever wanted to work with realtors. They always needed their stuff done right away. They call you with a last minute negotiation, or they want to use your price for a negotiation. So there's always been some issues with dealing with realtors on the plumbing side. My wife became a realtor and I kind of saw the market and said, man, nobody wants to take care of these guys. I understand they got a timeline, but you know what? Let's try to adapt with this and see if we can make their timeline work. And so we have been really good. We allow pay at close with them. As long as their house is under contract and it's closed within, I think 30 or 45 days, whatever the lingo is. So we allow that. Some people don't have the money to pay for it up front. So we do allow it to be paid at the closing table. And we kind of move them around to make them more priority. We understand that sometimes they have deadlines that fall on this. And if they don't get numbers back in, then, the deal might die. We do ask them sometimes like, hey, how detailed do I need to get on this? If you're going to be using it just for numbers, let me know. It takes a little bit of stress off me about calling, getting exact part numbers. But any bids or anything we give, even if they're using them for numbers, we honor them even for the people that are going to purchase the home or sell the home, whatever the case is. We honor the number. It's not something we just throw out there, but we've staffed up in the office, and with my wife kind of being in the office and knowing what realtors need, all the lien waivers, all the stuff, we literally have a whole drawer full of stuff for realtors, and we get them taken care of quick.
Okay. That's awesome. So, how long have you been a part of Real Producers?
I believe we are rolling into probably year number 3 now.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Nice. What would you say is the big thing that sets you apart from other plumbing companies, other than some of the things you've already talked about, in terms of focusing on, all things water and your relationship and the way you work with realtors?
Absolutely. Um, so as far as with the homeowner, there's two parts to that. Is with the homeowner side of it, I understand nobody wants to wake up and just call a plumber, man. I mean, unless you're getting something fancy, which is pretty rare.
Right.
To wake up and call a plumber like today with the sump pumps. We try to get we're in and out as quick as we can. We know, we're a task-based company. Our price is our price. We don't have to haggle around about things. We give it to you. We're good to go. We have guys. We have every company has guys that are better at certain things than the other.
Sure.
So we have our guys designated on charts, like, hey, these 4 guys are great at this. These 4 guys are great at this, but these guys are also okay at this. And we try to send them out to the proper calls to make sure that when you get a person for a sump pump, we've got 6 or 7 guys that are they carry them. They're good at them. You have a shower valve that goes bad in your house and you need it swapped out. I've got guys that cut the tightest holes in tile and we can put trim plates back on them without doing damage to your expensive shower walls. Not all my guys can do that. I have a select few. So we try to dispatch based on that. And right now, if you call just about any plumber, you will get, unless you've got a good relationship with them, you're going to get put on a wait list. You're probably we've had people call with water leaks that called their plumber that they've been using for years that say that they're 3 and 4 months out. And we just try to keep the right amount of people staffed. We prioritize our stuff. If we've got a job that can be put off for a couple of days because it's not emergent, we call the people. We might work with them on a deal or a discount or give them something to go and take care of the person who has an active flood in their house to try to get them in. So we're really just trying to build our customer base by just going above and beyond with the customers. My guys get rewarded in-house for 5-star service. When people call and leave them 5-star reviews or call the office, we take care of the guys. We've got a little thing set up in here for them, but we play a game with them basically to make sure that they realize like the customers are the reason you have a job, man. And we're going to go as hard as we can to make everything as right as we can for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think I saw on your Google profile that you have like 450 Google reviews or something crazy like that.
I think we're like the 980 realm right now at 4.9. Really? Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And you can scroll through. Everybody wants to scroll through and look at the ones that aren't 5 stars. I do it. I get everybody does it.
Sure.
The only ones you're going to find are usually price based, and you can't make everybody happy with price. But as long as they're not upset about how my guys treated their property or them or anything else, then we'll work with the rest.
Yeah, and no matter how hard you try, mistakes happen. And the key thing is, when you're dealing with reviews, is just be responsive and be honest. I mean, and people appreciate that. I mean, sometimes getting a 3-star review, but the way you respond and handle that and address that, speaks as much as a 5-star review oftentimes. So cool. That's amazing. I love to hear that. I mean, I'm a digital marketer, so online reviews are one of the absolute best things you can do to help your business show up in a local search result.
We have a girl in-house that is just what she does. We reach out to the customer the day after the job's been completed to make sure they are happy. I do want to catch them before they go and leave a negative review. If they are upset about something, I want to make sure we follow up with them within a 24-hour period. They get a chance to tell us. Maybe it's something. Maybe my guys left something on the side or stepped off their runner and put a little mud print on. We're going to go back out there and take care of that. I'll get my guys out there the next day. I want to catch them before they get too angry about it. We're going to fix it. Yeah,
absolutely. All right, that's awesome. Let's see here. So you say one of your slogans is "What's in your water?" So we've talked about water and how it can damage the plumbing system, but what does it do to people? I mean, because the water comes out and we either consume it or we wash our bodies with it or whatnot. So what happens on the human side of things?
I would tell anybody to look that up and read. You can read so many different things. Obviously, our body does some pretty awesome stuff, filtering things out. But as far as the stuff like your hair and your skin and your teeth go, there's quite a bit of damage that can be done to drinking what's in your water, depending on literally what's in your water. So I've looked it up personally a couple times, and I myself won't. We treat our water on every house we move into. Like, even I have some rental properties. We put at least whole house carbon filters on those when we buy them. And I send a guy over every 6 to 8 months and just change the carbon filter out, just to protect my investment on my rental property for one, but it's just so much safer for everybody.
Wow. Okay. So how do people know it or suspect if they have a bad water problem, and what can they do about it?
Well, I mean, really, the most common thing for any homeowner that maybe doesn't know a whole lot about plumbing, if you keep an eye on the ends of your faucets and your shower heads, they start turning white with calcium or green with lime or orange with iron. Well, then you have a mineral issue in your water, which minerals are the ones that are easy to see. You don't see any of the other, if there are narcotics or anything, if you got a high level. If you live on a well, you probably don't have a narcotic problem in your water. But if you live on a well and you have a cow farm behind you, you might have a feces problem. So there's so many different things that play into this. But the visual of the minerals, the hard water, that's very easy. The other stuff, you might have some smells, which could be a sulfur issue. There are a bunch of different things, but most homes I've been in that are calling us for a water treatment issue, they can visually see stuff on the ends of their faucets, their shower heads, and everything else that makes them call us out there to get it checked. Once we check it, then they kind of get shocked to see the other stuff that is actually in their water. But it's usually the visual that gets us out there first for people.
Okay. In terms of water heaters, I forgot to ask you this. I mean, do you go with tankless or tank water heaters? How do you make a decision on that?
That's we do a lot of training, like I said, in the water heaters. The tankless one is something I didn't used to push real hard because the technology wasn't quite there for the Midwest. If you live in the South or you live on the East Coast or the West Coast, and in the southern parts, that are a little warmer, the tanklesses are great. We have incoming water temperatures in Missouri of 38 and 40 degrees sometimes in the middle of the winter. And if you have a larger house, that tankless might not keep up. They've fixed a lot of stuff over the last 10 years. So we've started pushing them pretty good in the last 3. There's always great rebates for the most part offered for tanklesses, and everybody needs to check into that. They change, but right now they've got some pretty good incentives out there to go that route. But we kind of we educate the homeowner on it. We ask them what they're looking for. If it's a house, they're not, there's 2 people living in a house, a tankless might be great. You're not paying to store water. We gotta go over the cost of the investment for you for that tankless versus if you already have a tank and it's set up. If you're going to move in a couple of years, it might not be worth there's a lot of variables that go into that we go over with them. Yeah. But I love them. I love both. I'm a fan of the gas water heater. I do not like electric. Some people don't have that option. We have a couple great electric options, but if you have gas, we have some pretty high efficiency stuff that, if you don't want to go with the expense of a tankless, we have quite a few options in that realm.
How old is too old for a water heater?
Well, that's a great question. If you've got a water heater in your house right now that's in the 15 to 20 year realm, you've got one that was built before they started putting some of their new safety stuff on it, you might get another 10 years out of it. If you treat your water, it all circles back to treating that water. If you've got a gas water heater, there's none of those gas components are inside actually touching your water, but the tank itself is. So that tank starts to rot and it'll corrode, it'll start leaking. The water heater is probably still good, but your storage part of it's not. So if we treat that water, you're going to get a lot longer out of that water heater, period. So our water heaters, the tanked ones all come with a 6-year warranty, and there's some of them that have an option to buy up to an 8-year. And our tanklesses are all a 10-year warranty right now. So really, that's about all we're seeing them make. People that treat their water 10 years is a really good number on a water heater. If you're at the 8 to 10 year realm and yours is still going, I would be budgeting to the side for it to happen pretty soon.
So if you're in like the 30-year time frame, what should you do?
If you're so good question again. 2 answers to that. Number one, I would love to see that heater come out and get you a new upgraded one that's maybe a little bit more efficient. However, the only downfall, that thing might get another 10 years. I mean, those heaters that are 20 years plus, man, we have taken some out that are still functioning. People are just worried that, hey, we're going to finish our basement. We don't want this tank to go out and then, flood our basement. Yeah. The only downer is if that sucker goes out on you on a Saturday night at 5 o'clock and you happen to have people in town and you need it, now you're not paying just a regular book price for it. You're paying some plumber to come out emergency, unless you can wait till Monday. Yeah. If you can wait till Monday, then I'd ride that thing out until she doesn't have any more life in it. If you were worried about it going out on a weekend, I would check it every Friday morning and make sure you don't need to call me to get in for the same day service. All
right. Awesome. Great news. Great advice. What's the most interesting plumbing job you guys have done? We can talk about it.
Well, we've had some pretty rough ones that my guys have sent me pictures of. Stuff they pulled out of drains that's just insane. I would have loved to have pulled some pictures up. If I'd have thought about that, I'd have had them up to show you. But some of the, I mean, I myself, I like the custom home stuff that we do. I mean, we build. People come in with some crazy ideas of what they want their shower to look like, and then we'll sit down and kind of draw it up for them and hook them up with one of our designers, at our kitchen and bath stores or something. And man, we've done master bathrooms that have $60,000 shower rough-ins in them, and people have just done some really cool stuff that when you stand back and look at everything put together,
Yeah.
it's pretty gnarly to see.
Wow. Cool. We haven't talked about water pressure. What do we need to know about water pressure?
Water pressure. We were talking about water heaters a while ago. Water heaters are a very, very, very important part of your water system. Water pressure, your pressure reducing valve, which is typically located within a foot or two of your incoming water main. It's brass. It looks like maybe a little triangle, a little pyramid looking thing. It's usually got a screw on the top of it with a tag hanging off of it. Their life expectancy, there's no matter what we do to your water, they're getting all of the bad minerals and debris. Everything comes through there. We
Sure.
cannot hook up your filtration system until after that pressure reducing valve. So some spots in St. Louis County have 120 to 180 pounds of pressure. Your average water supply line on your faucet or your toilet is rated for about 80 pounds. They can handle up to about 100 without any issues. We see it all the time. Manufacturers trying to cover their butts, obviously, by putting like an 80-pound max on it. But if you have 140, 120 pounds of pressure in your house and one of those water lines goes and you're gone for a couple hours, you're looking at a total loss possibility. Call ServPro or one of the fire and water restoration companies, and it's a big deal. All over a 4 to 8, depending on what. So we're flat rate on that too. We have a task for it. All we need to know is the size of your water main, and anywhere from 1/2 inch up to 2 inch. We have prices in our book, and they're relatively inexpensive for literally being the most important part in your water system. It literally protects your entire house.
Is there an age of house that where that particularly comes into play?
These things are, like I said, the water is beating them up so badly. They've got a rubber diaphragm that's inside them with a little spring on it. You put rubber in water, let it sit for 2-3 years, and that's their warranty. We put one of our good ones in, you get a 3-year warranty on it. We do have a builder's grade model that's only got a 2-year. You start getting to the point where you haven't had yours checked. Now we every house we work on, we check the water pressure. We record it. We take a picture of it. If your water pressure is out of the realm, we don't force you to put one in. We can't do that. But we will tell you, if we just installed a new water heater for you and you've got 100 pounds of pressure coming into your house, you don't have a warranty until we replace that, because you have to be under 75 pounds is the max setting on our typical pressure reducing valve. So if you're over 75 pounds, there's a lot of components on your water heater that can fail. Your toilets will start running. People will call us with a running toilet, and we can't. I mean, I tell the girls not to diagnose something like that over the phone, because if we get out there, it might not be a flapper or a fill valve. You might have 120 pounds, and that fill valve can no longer hold back that pressure. So you might need a couple more things. If I put that fill valve in, it's probably going to start leaking again in another month. I can't warranty that.
Yeah.
So it's a hard thing to get people to understand, because people feel like you're trying to upsell them. But that pressure reducing valve, I wish everybody could hear this and just know it. It is the most important part in your entire plumbing system in your house.
Wow. I've not heard of that. So that's another great knowledge bomb. Thanks.
Relatively inexpensive repair. I mean, they go anywhere from the $400 range. The 2-inch ones get pretty expensive. The parts alone are expensive. You might spend $2,000 on one of those, but anywhere in the middle, like I said, it's a very important thing. We have financing here. A lot of people qualify for 0%. To me, it needs to be. I wish I could get my guys to be more passionate about it when they're talking to the homeowners about how important it really is to just make sure this pressure's under control without coming off like a salesman, because it's not a sales ploy. We actually give a discount if we're in your house and we put something in, anything, a toilet, anything to do with the water system. We check the pressure. I mean, we can show you on our tablet. This is our price. We knock money off of it for already being on site. One of our biggest expenses is getting to the job site right now.
Absolutely, yeah.
Cost of fuel. All my guys have new trucks and tools.
Yeah.
If we're already there, you're better off to let us fix the stuff you're thinking that you need. Or if my guys tell you they need it, you need it. None of my guys are paid commission on any upsales. Like there's nothing about that does that for them. They get paid for a good review, not for selling you more product. But they want to make sure that we're not back there in 3 days because you think there's a warranty issue when really it's because you chose not to do the PRV while we were there.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you guys do any preventative checks?
We do. We actually have a maintenance program that we offer people, and we give them it's a once a year. We show up to your house for free. We check the pressure, so we stay on top of that for you. We record all the information. It's stored on our servers here. The guys will spend about an hour at the house. They'll go through and check everything. We'll check the toilets, the water level of the toilets. All that's included with your membership. And they got some other things like you get moved to the top of the line no matter when you call. It's you get moved to priority.
Yeah.
You get 10% off all of our book prices regardless. So by the time you buy one water heater or a PRV and a toilet throughout the year, the membership's covered itself anyway. But that one free checkup every year that's the most valuable thing. You set it up. We get an alert. It tells us when you're due. One of our girls will send either an email or a text or however you chose we prefer to contact. And we'll just set up a whatever works for you. It's 1 hour. Our guys will come and just do a quick check. We'll check your water heater, your pressure, your toilets, make sure you're not having any issues. We'll note it. If you're good, see you again in a year. Unless you have an issue before then, you can call us.
Okay. So tell me a little bit more about the membership.
So that's another. I wish I'd had one of the girls. The girls didn't prep me very well for this.
Well, I'm just asking a lot of questions because you're sharing a lot of great information.
Yeah. Well, it's I tell people I work for other companies. What I've tried to do is I tried to take all the stuff that I didn't like working at other companies, the stuff I saw us doing that could have been done better, the stuff done for us guys out in the field that I didn't care for, and I've tried to get rid of all of it or change it, make it better. All of our on-call stuff after hours are voluntary. We don't do any mandatory calls. And by making it voluntary, I actually have guys that say, hey, you know what? I'll take calls this week. So we don't force anybody to do it. Other companies I've been at have always forced me to be on call. I was in a 1 week rotation every 3 or 4 weeks, where I couldn't go out of town. I couldn't be away from my phone. So we've just really tried to take that out of it. So whenever I start talking about the business side of it, I'll kind of start going everywhere because I like all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I know we have 2 different levels of membership. I'm not sure of the prices. I think it's maybe there's a $10.99 one and a $14.99 one, and really both of them include the 1 year or the 1 year checkup for your anniversary or around it. It doesn't have to be on that day. Just anywhere within that month is a good time.
Yeah.
And I know both of them include priority service. If you're a member and you call and you say, hey man, I've got a toilet. I've got guests coming over this week and I need this toilet installed or I need you to bring me a new one. We move you to the top of the list. We get one of our guys over there within the hour and we take care of you. So that's the biggest perks of it. Okay. And short of, I know one of them's 10% off. And I think maybe our platinum one might be 15% off all of our book prices. And really it helps us stay in front of our customers. And that's what it was really set up for. Everybody goes on the mailing list. Everybody gets our monthly newsletter. But these people get contacted with a personal email, like I said, on birthdays, anniversaries, and it really helps us keep in front of them.
Well, it's a win-win-win for everybody, really, because you're gonna identify and nip in the bud a lot of problems that could be catastrophic or very expensive. You're getting to stay in top of mind with your customers so that they don't wig out and go contact somebody else for some reason because they don't remember your name or how to contact you or something like that. So and we live in a subscription world. I mean, a membership is a subscription. We all sign up for Netflix or Hulu or things like that. You can start. People are starting to buy cars as a subscription.
Yeah.
We're in what I do, digital marketing. It's a subscription. Yep. I mean, it's an ongoing investment, but hopefully, if it's done right, it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
So that's a great idea.
One of our plumbing company buddies in another state, they're actually part of a boat club. This is great stuff. I wish I'd have thought about this stuff. Like this is a nationwide franchise. You pay a monthly subscription and you get so many hours. Each boat is a different cost of hours, and you can travel to anywhere you want, and anywhere they have one of their setups, you get a boat. You can go out and rent a boat off your monthly subscription. No maintenance, no hauling, no nothing. They put it in the water.
Wow.
Everything today you can pay and be a part of without actually having to. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Charlie, I've really enjoyed talking with you.
Same.
One thing that our listeners and viewers could do, if you could ask them to do, what would that be?
Get your system checked out, just like your HVAC. Nobody thinks about it in the plumbing world. What we just talked about. We're not worried about selling you a bunch of fancy stuff. Get your pressure tested. Let's at least protect the house from water damage. Is the number one issue in a home. It's worse than fire. It's worse than smoke. Water damage. If you talk to any restoration company, the number one issue. We need to keep an eye on that pressure.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. What's the best way for people to find out more about your business?
You can pretty much go to our website at beisplumbing.com, and it's got all of our text. You can see who you're talking to when you call in. The guys, you get alerts if one of our guys are coming over to your house, their name, their picture, everything pops up. You can read their bio on our websites. Call in the office directly. You know, the numbers on the website as well. That's the best way to get a hold of us. But we got commercials and stuff everywhere. Our vans are everywhere. That's, it's pretty easy to find us.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Thanks so much, Charlie. I enjoyed talking with you.
Absolutely. Same.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.